Okay, so there are all-terrain electric skateboards and then there are all-terrain electric skateboards. Today we're going to take a look at one from Exway. It's called the Atlas Carbon 4-wheel drive. Welcome to the Vapor Trail channel. I'm Tony and I live on the beach in North Carolina. I have a 4-wheel drive Jeep because we can actually drive on the beach in many areas around here. I would never think about taking a 2-wheel drive onto the beach, but people do it, and there's actually a whole Facebook page called Oregon Inlet Idiots that showcases that. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to take the skateboard out onto the beach because we just don't have enough packed sand where there's not water that's actually washing onto it. It's just not a feasible thing. But because of the sand that we have around here, there's sand on all of the roads and pathways and stuff, and I've literally had boards that are all-terrain boards with all-terrain wheels dead stop going through a patch of sand and had to run it out. So as I learned more about e-skates and realized that there are 4-wheel drive versions of them out there, I got really interested. Got interested in the Exway Atlas Carbon 4-wheel drive because Exway has a great reputation, the board looks really good, and it's got a ton of features. This board comes with ESC 2.0, it's a Hobby Wing FOC, and you can fine-tune the parameters with an app. The app is actually really cool. You can do all kinds of fine-tuning with it. You can change the curve of your brakes, your power curve for your acceleration, and all that kind of stuff. That could be a full video just by itself. The board uses 200-watt fast charge and can charge in 3.5 hours. From experience, that is legit. The battery actually is a replaceable battery at 12S4P, rated at 518 watt-hour. Max power on this board is 3,000 watts. And when these companies give advertised ranges on them, you know, I mean, they're probably doing their range test with the best of conditions, maybe a 150-pound rider, slower speeds, you know, less inclines, that kind of thing. However, they do advertise around a 16 to 17 mile range on this, whereas the Meepo Hurricane, which I also have, has a advertised range of 31 to 44 miles. Both of their advertised top speeds are around 35 miles per hour. Now, I'll probably never get to that because 25 miles an hour is plenty for me. I'm just not a speed demon. I'm not a super young guy, so I have to be careful. Now, full price on this board is $2,199. Right now on their website, they have it listed at $1,799. I have seen the price as low as $15.99. Just got to watch out for their sales. Now, I did film an unboxing video for this, but I really wanted to get this video done. I've been writing it for, 3.5 weeks now. And over the last week, I filmed 2 separate days so that we can get this video done. I'll probably go ahead and edit and publish that unboxing video because a lot of people like to see what's in the box and all that kind of stuff. And if you'd like to see that, let me know down in the comments. So let's do some skate and talk, and then we'll come back and I'll fill in all the gaps of anything I left out in that part. All right, so I'm at a little park that's by Woods Road on the Outer Banks, which is very well known as being a cool bike path, and I make it a skate path. It's got some ups and downs. You're going through trees. There's a lot of debris though, like pine cones and stuff like that, so having these all-terrain wheels is definitely going to help. So let's go ahead and start up the remote. And we're good to go. Yeah, the board automatically connects. If it doesn't turn on automatically, there are 2 buttons on the bottom of the board, and all you have to do is push those and you're ready to go. Let's go for a ride. I normally ride a lot of these boards in 2nd gear. I've got this in 3rd gear, or 3rd speed mode, or whatever you want to call it. I have put it in 4th, I just don't need that much power. Now, there are a fair amount of bumps in this road, and it's a nice smooth path, but there's a lot of bumps, and like I say, a lot of debris. Pine cones, pine straw, all kinds of stuff that could really deter you from a good ride. So I gotta say, this thing is super smooth and a very comfortable ride. It's a little different from all the other boards that I have. Well, a lot different because it has 4 motors on it. It's 4-wheel drive. If you were thinking you might be able to push kick this thing, it would not be a push kick type thing. You'd have to take those belts off of there. A couple of things that I really like about this, as opposed to, like, say, the Meepo Hurricane, where the charging port is facing the trucks sticking off the back of the board, this one's right on the side. It actually has a little cap that you can put on there, and that little cap, well, it seals it off, so you don't have to worry about water getting into your charging port, which is very nice. Not only that, it's just so much easier to plug in to charge with this one than other boards that I've got. If they've got that, you know, the coupling type charge port, it's got the little nub at the bottom of the port, so I just always know, just turn that thing around so that the nub is at the bottom and I'm good to go. You don't get all the fatigue of riding with the urethane wheels. Clack, 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 clack. It's definitely nice. And of course, when you've got a view like this, man, it's hard to beat. Acceleration on the board is very smooth, as is braking. Everything is just, you know, buttery smooth on this thing. I really like that. I will say this, man, this thing is definitely a really nice board. It's, you know, it's my first experience with a four-wheel drive board, like the belt drive stuff, because I just seem to get more torque, more power, more everything with the belt drive board. So let's just get a little once over on this thing. Yeah, this is a good looking board right here. Now it's kind of hard to tell, but these plates on the top of it, they kind of glisten in the sunlight, but yeah, they look good. Now as far as the shape of this board, it does have a nice W curve to it, nice concave. Oh, the sun's coming up for me there. So you can see that the middle of it is raised, the sides of it are also raised, and it's got a drop down right before we get to the front and back of the board. It definitely makes for a very comfortable ride, sucks the feet right in. It's not as pronounced as some of the boards that I've got, but it is, in my opinion, it's just about right. And that padded grip tape, man, it does help a lot with your feet. Tighten these trucks up just a bit if I want to go a little bit faster, but you know, I like to have a little bit of flexibility, that carvability and everything. But this is a nice smooth street here, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a little bit of gas. That was about 22 miles per hour right there. And I still had plenty of throttle to go. And what's great is if I come up against some gravel or something like that, no problem. All right, we've used this hill in one of my videos before, It's right here on the Sound in Kill Devil Hills in North Carolina. And it's a pretty steep one. It starts out really steep, kind of gets a little less steep in the middle, and then at the top, it gets really steep again. I'm in third gear. Let's see how she does. Slow start, little skid. There we go. I still had power to spare at the top there. I wasn't even full throttle. It's just hard to get started from a dead stop on a hill, but she did pretty good. So yeah, as you can see, I'm having a lot of fun on this board. I'm not worried about any different terrain that I've run into. I haven't run into anything that this thing wouldn't go over. It just eats the cracks in the sidewalk. You know, like I said, I'm not a younger guy. So riding on urethane or stiffer wheels, it just clack, 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 and after a while you're like, let me get off the sidewalk. With this, I'm not worried about it. It also just goes right through any of the sand patches that I've hit, so I've been real happy with that. The board is somewhat stiff. I mean, it's a carbon fiber board. They're usually a little bit stiffer. Get a little bit of flex to it, so it's still very comfortable. The W concave, my feet just stick right to the board, so I'm real happy with that. The app, I haven't really dug too deeply into that app. I mean, the board out of the box rides really nicely, but of course I could go into that app and just really tweak it and do all kinds of stuff. If I feel like I need to do a video on that, maybe we'll do a separate video just on the app. The remote is pretty simple. I mean, it's just one button on it, which I guess is a good thing. And one thing you'll notice right off the bat if you get one of these is that it's in like a safety mode for the first, I think it's like the first 6 to 10 miles. It won't go over gear 2, so you can't go too fast or anything like that. And I understand. They want you to make sure you understand and learn the board before you go, full bore. I think you might be able to turn that off using the app right away, but, might as well get used to the board before you go for it. One thing that did throw me off with that remote, and it kind of gave me a little bit of anxiety at first, range anxiety, is most of these electric skateboards, in fact, every one of mine that has a display on it, has bars for how much battery you have left. This shows the actual percentage for your battery and for the remote. So, the first ride I went out on, I was like, dude, I've only been riding this thing for 10 minutes and I'm already at 96%. Well, 80% came not that long after that, and I was like, geez. But if you think about it, in terms of how many bars you have, you only have 4 bars, so it takes a while for one of those bars to get eaten up. By the time you get to that last bar, you're probably only at about 30%. At least this way you can look at it and have a really accurate read on how much battery you have left for your board and for the remote. So that's a good thing. And the remote is really comfortable because it is a little bit smaller than some of the other remotes that are out there. All in all, the Exway Atlas Carbon 4-wheel drive is a really nice board. Range on it, I mean, some of the boards are saying they get up to 31, 44 miles of range. This is, maybe they're just being more honest and telling you it's only going to get 16 miles. Only, I say, but 16 miles, that's a long time on a skateboard. Now, I have not done a range test where I go from beginning to end with a full battery until it runs out. I haven't done that yet, but I've charged the battery and went, 6 miles, 10 miles before I had to charge it again. So I'd say it's pretty accurate. Aside from the fact that it does really well on all terrain and, sand in the road. I mean, sometimes the sand can be that thick. And if you hit that with the wrong board, the wrong wheels, with the front wheels on there, that's just going to help pull you right through that. And for me, me, I think it actually helps with going uphill. You saw that hill test. I started from a dead stop there, just one little push, and that doesn't do anything, especially when you have 4 belts on the thing. So it did really well. That is not to say 4-wheel drive is the be-all end-all, but if that's what you've been looking for, you might want to check out this board. I, for one, am very happy with it. Hey, I want to thank you so much for your support here on the channel. Likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, very important to my channel. So if you like what you see, hit that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button down there. There's also a notification bell. If you click both of those, you'll get notifications when I upload new videos. I do have links down there for my social media, so if you have one of those accounts, I'd appreciate a follow. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We'll catch you next time on the Vapor Trail channel.